eyes twinkle. Microphone check.
He keeps rapping his ass off. Everyone like just felt like, oh, who the fuck is this dude? And then soon as that happened, he went on the Freestyle Friday. Shout out to Doggy T, Freestyle Friday. Shout out Channel O. And then he went on Freestyle Friday before he went to Channel O and shit like last year. And he murked it. And we had a long talk about it actually here. So to me, it was so interesting. Now I'm going through my social media and shit. And I'm actually seeing him get engagement. But now, the engagement is not from the fans. The engagement is from industry folks who are like, oh shit, who the fuck is this dude, man?
Who was it? Was it PH?
PH Raw. Shout out PH Raw X, man. PH Raw is like, fam, I need to get you in the studio expeditiously. Stop thinking about cost. You're a Pretoria boy. And that's what I love also about rapping, you see it, because it all went down like that because he rapped the city. So PH is like, now you're a kid from the city, dog, and you fucking rap so much better than people I even know that are. So I want to do something. Let's get on studio. And he's like, shit, it's literally always been my dream. And I knew it wasn't cap because I know that Pretoria cats fucking respect PH.
The game respects PH.
The game actually like most of your favorite songs were recorded at PH Raw X Studios.
And also like we've also seen him work with young talent. So like he's pretty much good
with it.
Like, even with like quote unquote artist development aspect of the game. So it's good that if you're getting into the game, people like him are keen. Like that's a positive step for someone's career, right there.
Oh, bro, that's so true, though.
Yeah, because like if you do enough, I think the struggle for most artists is always to get the attention of the people that matter. So if your talent and your efforts alone get you, it's a positive side to see some of the frustrations or the negative that artists do. Not throwing shots at them, but we understand their frustration. But sometimes this is a pleasant dynamic to where an artist is putting in work. He gets recognition to the point where he's so dope. Like, yo, someone comes out and reaches out to him like, we need to do something, like make it happen for you. Especially if he was on Freestyle Fridays early.
Yes.
He already made his mark, And yeah, I know. Shout out to him. I hope.
To me, that was the link also, like with how we spoke about us congratulating Freestyle Friday from going to the next level, like with the Channel O and shit. It was so dope to then see someone from the quote-unquote now old Freestyle Friday, then still getting like that kind of recognition without the Channel O, like, because we know the people who will be on Channel O are going to get a different shine because it's a good look. But to see people who got involved in Freestyle Friday still reaping the benefits, it still gives a huge shout out to Stogie T
For sure.
saying,
Yeah.
let's make South Africa rap again.
Yeah.
Because it's what we like rap, like lovers, like deep rap lovers love about the game. Because we always complain, there's not enough people who rap their ass off and whatever. And it's like, this dude actually created a culture of people rapping in SA, and it's actually going into the mainstream. Like you can see the direct results of bringing.
What do you think about maybe just to try and see if you guys we can expand a little bit on this?
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys think about? I think like he's dope, tick, right? Because it starts there with hip hop. You gotta be dope. So he's dope.
So
he writes, he raps. He's of the cloth of rappers. So tick. However, like what I find very interesting, it's like someone like him, he's got a lot of content out there, videos, but not a lot of music out. So like if you look for his music, you won't find much, right? But he's also getting the attention from some of the big guys. So like if I'm a younging sitting there, I'm like, how is it that I've got 2 mixtapes out? I still don't get recognition from these niggas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like from that perspective, like is it almost like one of those things, like when you read, Malcolm
Gladwell.
Malcolm Gladwell's book, he always talks about 10,000 hours. But then like there was another principle he also spoke about in that book, luck.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of times we don't see that. Like,
Yes.
there's an element of luck
There's a
here. Like,
huge element.
you know
like,
what I mean? Because,
and,
like,
and I love that you raised that, bro, because I think, not to blow our own horn, but we one of the few people like who have a platform and who speak about that side of it. Uguti, yo, man, sometimes just lucky. Like, yes, all the other things are true. It doesn't mean that you are not dope, you are not this and
exactly.
this.
Like,
But
you need some luck
for
in your life. You know?
things to because if you look at this, I find it difficult to think PH didn't see a video of this dude rapping back in April last year. But for some reason, in Feb 2020,
It resonates.
it's like resonates. Let me actually because and I also wanted to add Uguti. So now from the PH thing, it happened, and because PH commented on it when we were saying, "Good yo, who's this dude?" Which, by the way, I do think he really didn't say it like last year, but it just feels crazy to me.
PH is a
But
busy
then
dude.
he's like, "Yo, who's this dude? I need to find him. Me and him need to be in studio." So because PH then retweets that, P Dot sees that. P Dot listens to one of the clips from last year actually, because I think it was even a Feb, like.
Yeah, he had been
Like-
doing
like,
he
yes,
had
'cause
been
he
doing
has been
videos
because,
prior
yes,
prior
this is
Stogie,
one
you
of
know.
those.
Yeah.
Reason at the same time is like, I need to be in studio with this dude. So now with Mfana Bodega, he's like, yo, I'm just waking up, guys, and
Yeah.
all of this is happening on my
Yeah.
name, and all the guys that I literally like respect and have always, and it just so happened that my first shot
Yeah.
is me actually working with them, because I think
Yeah.
even Tony Mac was like,
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
I'm gonna be there's a dude from where is he from? Which Dynamic? But I know that I knew him when he once worked with Trilly, like back in the day. There's a dude called Dynamic. It's nuts,
Yeah.
like just creative overall. He's
Yeah.
like, yo, actually, your studio session with PH, because of how it's happening in the public, whatever,
Yeah.
should be a thing that is recorded, and I'm down to just do it for you. And
Are they doing like a KFC moment on him?
something like that, yes. So, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, shit. This is like fucking great. Everyone is just like, nah.
Cash is busy photos.
Let's give this dude.
Spend 5 minutes.
So it's like, let's give this dude like, and I feel like everyone, because I know, thinking. Okay, let me not say I know. Thinking of how creators think, to them it's really just a moment of like working with this creative kid. Even though from the marketing side, from us, you can see it as like, oh shit, things aligning very well for him and whatever. And it's so dope, dog, for someone who hustled in public to get that recognition in public. Because these niggas went on live on their Twitter and whatever. So already, if your favorite rapper, your favorite producer, your favorite hook guy or favorite whatever is saying that they wanna work with the dude, you are gonna like look forward to his shit. You know, like a cosign to me, I feel it's still really, 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 really matters.
I agree. I mean, I remember like last year when we spoke about this, like, we saw it with Madlaro, bro. Like from the moment when the game lets you in, and then these niggas hold you, like your life changes. Cause like when they embrace you and then they make you part of the ecosystem, because this thing is an ecosystem.
Facts.
You know, and
That's facts,
some people might not know, but this thing is an ecosystem, and it's important that you, like the guys in the game, accept you for whoever you are. You know, even if like you might not rap what they rap, whatever. But because it's the game, it comes with gigs, it comes with studios being available,
Appearances.
it comes with features.
It opens doors.
Like, you know, so I mean, I'm glad I'm seeing it, and we spoke lengthy about him last year. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
because you know, so it's also dope to kind of like see someone, and then you see them start, and then you actually see progress on their life, and then one of these days it's gonna have a hot song, and then it's gonna be like,
And
no,
then
off
and
you
then,
go.
We
and
saw
then-
the story like
Yeah.
the rest is history, basically.
And then one of these years that are coming, we're gonna be posting like one of his 2020 videos, and we'd be like, you had to be there. He'll be like, you had to be, because now he'll be like this huge superstar and shit. We're like, you had to be there to understand, man. So
Well,
shout out to Mfana Bodega.
What do you think about Pretoria though? Is Pretoria being represented nicely? I mean,
Actually, I'd even go to a point where, and I want to make this point very clear before Joburg niggas come for me, because I know Joburg niggas are very protective of their territory. I would even say that it's almost like taking over, but not in terms of it's the biggest thing in the game, but in terms of for any region that is still cliquey, it's the only real region that is up there, and up there as a name of the region rather than individually. Like if you go to K1, Questa is the biggest artist in South Africa. Like you go to Northwest, Casper is the biggest artist in South Africa. You go to Bryanstein, AK is the biggest.
My nigga.
Couldn't help it. But you guys get what I'm saying. Like, whereas with Pretoria, it's like Pretoria movement is big. Because in hip hop, that shit has always been so important, like the movement. So with Pretoria, I do want them to get their shine of being the biggest in terms of moving as a movement. Those guys are like the one.
and they're so they're so diversified, man. Like you look at 25. You look at Abu Pedot, you look at, Envy, you look
Reese
at
and the kids.
Reese, there's this guy like Tato Soul.
Tato
Like,
Soul and shit.
Like, it's dope. I agree.
And my person the piano. Hey, yes.
And then Folka.
Fucking Capital. Actually, now I think I'm hating. Because I'm like, I was giving these niggas props, but it seems like they are really, really taking off. Because even in terms of like the groove lifestyle, obviously with how it is right now with COVID and shit, but still, even before COVID, they were kind of really making a name for themselves with the homecoming chants, about yep yep and whatever. And now it seems like even with COVID, they kind of like recovered quicker in terms of knowing how to move with events, like during this time. Homecoming with Fontaine was already like, okay, brunch.
With the brunch.
No longer like the normal Fontaine.
Yeah.
With the brunch, because now KFU, blah. And I'm like, shit, these people are really, really putting in the work, dog. And when you see people like 25K go back and shout out shows like Fontaine, like shows in Pretoria with there's some niggas like who I didn't deserve a chance to get on their stage and they gave me the stage. So I think there's actually a whole lot more when instead of like hating from the outside, if you really look at what these niggas are doing, there's so much to learn with how they move, how they do their shit, and that can be applied by so many niggas.
So many
game,
people. But also like out of interest, like I find it very interesting. Like, don't you think, maybe from a taste making perspective, like maybe people are kind of tired of the sound as you know it, and then Pretoria is fresh.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't even understand the language, but what they're doing is they're going out authentic in their Pretorian ways, the language, the way they do the music, and I feel like it's probably fresh to a lot of ears as well, and that's why it also quote unquote stands out,
Yeah, because people always want something new, and if you get a different flavor to what you like, food, music, acting, whatever, it's also that there's that intrigue, and all of these things like the luck thing we spoke about. It's their time. Not say they haven't had their time. They're really coming more than coming into their own, because PTA has always, Cap City has always been solidified with rappers, but I think people are probably they're now giving their flowers and giving them the attention, especially. But to Tizo's point about why people might be interested in what they like, obviously Pretoria rap more in terms of like listening, hip hop fans in general, it's like it's distinct. There's the influence. Like I was talking to a friend, I was actually talking to Miza yesterday, and we talked about how, I asked him about the similarities between Sesotho and Pedi, and then I just happened to joke that I know people who speak Tswana, but in Pretoria and Soshanguve, there's like they've got their own mixture of Tswana, Pedi, throw and slang, and then if an artist is from that area, and also I think rapping is always good for hip hop culture. Anyone who raps that sound like we've now got one of our own getting limelight, mainstream, is putting us on. we're gonna ride for him. You know, even if not even just hip hop fans, it's like this guy from Pretoria, and not just Pretoria, he's from Social. Because even within areas, people are like, nah, you're from Garankuwa, you're from Social, but this is the whole city, and like there's the distinct things that we may not pick up, but the people from them like, yo, dude is from there. You can tell he's spitting that lingo. But they got spitters, bro. Like I mean, like hip hop and this is dope, Joburg, whatever, different spaces. But one thing I like always give about PJ, there are rappers everywhere who spit, whatever, but I think it's a commonality that I've seen with PTA rappers. Like they just a little more intentional with how they with the rapping, making sure that their rap skills are on point, irrespective of the language, even the content or subject matter. They could be talking that fly party shit, but they'll still be delivering and make sure that the rap acumen is on point. Yeah, so that's what I like. Shout out to PT.
And the thing is, just to close off that point of it, I wanted to just also like speaking of Pretorians just as a whole and like the movement that they are pushing, it's so like nice to me that this conversation is being sparked by someone who's coming in as new.
Yeah.
And to me, that's so I this is now because I've spoken to the whole game that's hating, but now to the Pretoria cats, it shows how them always allowing newer cats to shine even brings shine to just the whole movement. And that's how they've always moved, right? Like a Black Layers, for example, is gonna like shout out P Dot the whole time if his album is out and whatever. And this is kind of showing that it works. It's supporting each other, working together, and making sure that like you entrust each other as long as you know that the talent is up there. It actually works. And PTA has shown that it works. And
we gotta shoot him fairly, man.
Yes, and to give one credit to Unot Woody, one thing he was right about is over and over, time and time again, it shows in SA that just leaning a bit towards being authentic, for some reason it kind of works. Kind of always works.
It's the better way of doing it.
Yeah.
Might be the long route.
Yeah.
But it's definitely
I think more, there's enough cases now for people to be able to see Uguti. Yeah, I think this is actually the better way to work. It works out better. Like because like you look at someone like Mfana Bodega, Uguti, even if it doesn't go and reach Islam and nasty status is on Ellen DeGeneres, whatever, and what he will do though is that he will keep all these fans who got him the way he is now. If he just grows, yes, he must grow and improve, but in the same ilk that is in, a lot of those people are still just gonna ride because they will think of like, yo, 2020, this boy, it's more, you feel it more, like you get attached to it a bit more. And that's really what you want as an artist, to have fans who are attached to you, are gonna buy no matter what, and all that kind of shit, man. And I think that really, 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 really works.
Out of interest, to segue a little bit, don't you think like if Universal signs everyone, you're like, well, I want Nasty's career. Clearly you can do it for him. Why can't you do it for everyone you sign?
Yeah.
Like, I know he's the first, but the fact that you did it for him, I want it too.
Any creative would want that, and why wouldn't they? But I think that's sorry, Cash, because I want you to like as you respond, I want you guys to tell me if this thought makes sense. Like, can they replicate that? Can they do everything they doing for Nasty for someone else? Because that's the label play. We can see it. That's the label play.
Question, actually.
I think every label endeavors to do that because like we've seen it with labels, with artists, any group. Now most times it doesn't work out because I'm talking about, let's say but not group, but like a label dynamic. G Unit, Saint Lunatics with Nelly. Most rappers have got people they put on.